are so many different ideas about good health. How do you separate the myths from the facts? Welcome to Healthy View Radio with your trio of co-hosts, Andrea Beeman, Lisa Lutan, and Michelle Fennighaus. Today, you'll learn what it takes to be healthy and happy within a stressful world from three experts walking their talk. Here is Lisa, Andrea, and Michelle.
Hello there, and welcome to Healthy View Radio. My name is Lisa Lutan, and I am here with my two fabulous and talented co-hosts, Andrea Beeman and Michelle Fennighaus.
Hey.
Today, hey.
We are fabulous.
Yes, they are. They are so fab. Today, we're going to be talking about meditation, mindfulness, and manifesting, which are actually some of my favorite things to talk about. I bet you guys didn't know that about me, did you?
No.
No, I didn't think so.
You like to talk about a lot of stuff, but I haven't heard this one yet.
Yeah. So anyway, but first, before we get into that, I would like to thank our sponsor, Vapor Organic Beauty, because I am a huge fan of their products. In particular, their deodorant, which goes on so smoothly and nicely. You know, honestly, when I think back to all those years where I was just buying those drugstore toxic products and putting them on my precious body and skin, I just want to cringe, because now I am so obsessed with finding the most natural products that I can get my hands on. And Vapor Organic Beauty is totally up there with all their natural ingredients. And they are offering our lovely listeners 20% discount. Just go to vaporbeauty.com, and that's vapor spelled V-A-P-O-U-R, vaporbeauty.com. Use the code HVR for Healthy View Radio, and you're going to get 20% off your order. So, back to meditation. Let's just take a breath. Like, seriously, unless you're driving right now, close your eyes and just take in a couple deep breaths. Doesn't it feel so good just to pause? Just put the stop button on life, even for a minute or even for a second. Yes, it does.
Yes, it does, sister.
It does. It does. So personally, I've been meditating regularly for about 4 or 5 years. And I honestly can say it's had a huge impact on my life. When my clients ask me what is the number one thing they can do to improve their health, they are shocked when I say, meditate, because I tend to deal with very busy, stressed people who just need to slow down and chill out. And meditating helps us get back into that spot, that place of peace and calm. Now, I don't spend a really long time meditating, usually maybe 5-10 minutes, but just giving myself that gift each morning of slowing down, breathing, calming my brain, looking inside is a gift that I give to myself. And I will tell you that there were times in my life that I was going through hell, and meditation saved me, because through those dark, stormy times, if I could get a moment of relief, a moment of a break, and find those little teeny bits of joy, it was a lifesaver. So I'm a huge fan, clearly. And I'd love to hear from you guys, Andrea and Michelle. What are your thoughts on meditation, mindfulness, manifesting, and how is it impacting your life?
Well, I personally have a lot of thoughts about meditation, but we don't have enough time. We only have an hour show. But like you, I think it is imperative. And I remember when I first started meditating, it was about 22 years ago. Maybe it was even longer. I was still working at MTV Networks. And I had just healed my thyroid condition naturally, right? By changing my diet and my lifestyle. And I kept feeling this need for something else. Right outside of food, this just need for silence and to eat, literally silence. And I was working at MTV Networks. So at MTV Networks, we had a television in every hallway blaring out of every room. And I was like, there's no silence anywhere. And I live in New York City, no silence. You go outside, bam, bam, everybody's beeping their horn. Somebody's putting up a middle finger somewhere, yelling at somebody, right? So there was no silence. And I was like, okay, where am I supposed to get this thing that I'm craving, this internal thing that I'm craving? So I came home and I gave away all of my CDs. I had over 500 CDs. I was like, I just want no noise, nothing. And I also took a year of silence from media. No television. No. Yeah. Oh yeah. No
A whole year?
A whole year. No television, no newspaper, nothing. And I started meditation. And my friend Jason Poole said, okay, Beam, if you're going to do this, you got to read this book by Thich Nhat Hanh called Pieces Every Step. And I was like, okay, cool. It was like a little tiny book. And he was like, okay, just try 5 minutes a day, do walking meditation, do sitting meditation. So I was like, okay, 5 minutes a day. I could try that. So I tried 5 minutes a day, and every single day I sat for 5 minutes, and there was so much noise here. And I was like, what the hell is that? Nothing's on. Television's not on. I gave it away. My ex-boyfriend was like, why are you giving your television away? I'm like, because I'm going to turn it on if I come into the house. He's like, just put something over. I said, no, it's like the alcoholic going into the bar. If you take out the alcohol, you still go into the bar, you're going to crave a drink. So I couldn't have the TV in the corner. So nothing was here. No CDs, no TVs, nothing. And I would sit for the 5 minutes, and there was still so much noise, and it was inside my head. And literally for 6 months, I'm sitting and I'm like, oh my God, you killed your mouse when you were 7 years old. The dresser fell on the mouse. Like all these noisy things were coming up in my head. Like, oh, you had this conversation with so-and-so 3 weeks ago and it never finished. Like just all this stuff going on. And as I sat, because I said I'm going to give it a year, for the first 6 months, the 5 minutes would turn to 6 minutes, the 7 minutes. Every week it would get a little bit longer and a little bit quieter. And finally, and a lot of noise, you suck, I can't believe you did this, you did that, all this negative stuff. And finally, around the 6 month mark, I'm sitting in meditation and there was no noise at all. It was quiet. And all of a sudden I saw this burst of color internally, eyes closed, red and blue and white and green and purple, orange going in and out. And I'm like, holy crap, I didn't take any acid. This is not a mescaline trip. I said, what is that? And I'm watching these pulsating colors as I'm in this quiet space. And I'm just sitting. And I felt nothing beneath me and nothing above me. Like even as I just felt like I was floating in space, but I was awake. Like I wasn't asleep. I know I wasn't asleep. And I'm sitting there. I'm like, oh my God, this is like the coolest thing I've ever experienced. There's nothing, no anger, it just like this empty space of nothing but everything at the same time. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh God, this must be at least 10, 15 minutes. I got to get to work, right? This is what I'm thinking because I'm still working at MTV and I was meditating in the morning. I'm like, I got to get to work. So I'm like, okay, let's take me out of this really cool place and let me go back on with my life. So I open up my eyes and I look over at the clock and it was an hour and 40 minutes later.
Oh man.
Yes, I was late to work. I was like, holy crap, what was that place? So, like for me, meditation, it's essential to our life because it connects you to the deeper experience of a human being in a place of peace and calm. And you can carry that. You can't live in that place while you're in the physical body, but you can carry that into this space, which is our human experience. So I'm a firm believer. I've been meditating for 22 years or more, and every single day. I mean, maybe once in a while I'll miss a day here and there, but then I'll do some walking meditation or something like that, but I can't live without it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
guess you do have thoughts.
Yeah, you have thoughts. And I'll be the one who's the odd man out here because I don't have a regular meditation practice where I sit quietly for a few minutes or an hour and 40 minutes as the case may be.
That was only one time. Trust me, I haven't sat for an hour and 40 minutes in 20 years.
But I have had a lot of different encounters with different types of meditation. And I have to say the quiet kind where you just sit there, it never really clicked for me. But what always has worked for me really well is yoga and other mindfulness techniques. And I'm going to share one with you that was so powerful for me. And it's going to sound so silly because it was simple stuff. When I was doing my yoga teacher training, we did everything. We did the meditation, we did the chanting, we did the pranayama, which I am also a huge fan of. We would do breath work for an hour and you come out, talk about, did I take acid? I mean, you're feeling all kinds of awesome after that. But again, not something I do regularly. And my teacher said, just feel what's happening in your body right now. Teachers always say that, feel the mat under your feet. feel the air coming into your nostrils. And you just think blah, 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 whatever. I would just kind of ignore that part. But that day he said, go home and take a shower and just feel the water hitting your body. All right, I can try that. None of this other stuff is really working for me so well. So I went home and took a shower. And it is amazing that I had been taking showers for, I don't know how long, decades and decades of my life. And I never felt the water hitting my skin. What else am I missing in this life if I have been missing the water hitting my skin? And that was really powerful for me. So I do take that time in the shower regularly to feel that. But that lesson of everything we're missing right now, what does the chair feel like pressed against your butt right now at this moment, or the feeling of the desk underneath my hands right now, that grounds you in the present moment. And so that's the practice that I've taken with me.
Yeah, and I think you're bringing up such an important point that people sometimes miss. The whole purpose of meditation is to get us to this place so we enjoy and experience those moments of really being present and mindful. And think about how you walk down the street, especially like in New York, and everybody's on a phone and everybody's got, the headphones, and nobody is where they are. They're somewhere else. And it seems like it's just needed more than ever. Anything that we can do to bring people back to being human beings in the real world and being present is so critical right now. Don't you think?
Yeah, we need to get connected to each other. I think that if we were really connected on a deep, more human level, right? Because I think we are losing our humanity, unfortunately. But there's always that other side, right? We have the people that are really connected and the people that are not connected at all. So I think that we would be less prone to killing each other, yelling at each other, hurting each other, if we knew that we were all connected. And I think that when you get present, like what Michelle was talking about, what you're talking about, when you get present, you really understand that there's so much more than the little tiny crap that we're dealing with, right? All the things that don't really matter, the things that just make us crazy, that none of that really matters. There's a much bigger, call it like a theme at work to be a human being. And that's just my own personal thoughts. But also I want to talk to Michelle. Some of my best insights come from being in the shower. Right? Connecting with the water. Totally. I'll get like, I could do this blog or that one. Right? Boop, pops right up to the surface.
Meanwhile, my husband will put the iPad in the shower. Not even just listen to a podcast, but like watch something. I don't know what the heck what movie's going on in there, or just listen to a podcast. But in terms of noise always happening in our lives, carrying around this little rectangle with me for the past, I don't know, how long have we had these? 10 years, 15 years? Is that draws us away from the present moment. I couldn't agree with you more, Lisa. This is the anti-meditation. So I'm curious, what do you guys think about meditation apps?
Oh, I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Insight Timer. That's my favorite at the moment because it's free. I recommend it to a ton of people. They have a beautiful timer that you can set with music or not music, some gongs if you like. And they've got like thousands of free guided meditations, and you can tell them how long, what topic. So I'm a huge fan of that app myself. I don't know about you guys, if you have apps that you like to recommend.
No, I'm not an apper. I'm not an apper myself, but I do recommend breathing, as possible, just breathing. Like people think meditation and they think, I got to sit in a lotus position. I got to light incense, just have to breathe and focus on the breath. And go ahead, Lisa.
No, I think this is a very special time in the show that I need to tell you about, which is called Meet Your Meet Q&A. It's excuse me, I can't even speak. The Meet Your Meet Q&A is brought to us by ButcherBox, who delivers thoughtfully sourced meat directly to your doors. And here's a question that comes up about chicken. What does it mean exactly when we say free-range chicken, right? A lot of confusion around this. So what I found out is free-range chicken means that chickens have access to the outdoors. But the USDA standards only allow chickens with access to be labeled free range, even if it's only a few minutes. So butcher box chickens, on the other hand, have access to as much outdoor space as they do indoor space. They're free to roam in and out of their space as they please, forage naturally, interact with other chickens, and enjoy their life as nature intended. They might even be able to find quiet little places in the pasture to meditate. Yes, these are the lucky birds, and we are so lucky. So if you're like me and you care about the quality of your food for you and your family, I don't think you would be here if you didn't, then give ButcherBox a try. Go to butcherbox.com/HVR for Healthy View Radio, and you will get $20 off your order and some free bacon.
Bacon.
Now, when we get back, we'll be speaking with Emily Fletcher. Emily is the founder of Ziva Meditation and the creator of Ziva Online. Ziva's mission is to make meditation attractive, accessible, and easy to adopt to in modern life. Formerly on Broadway shows like Chicago, The Producers, and Chorus Line, Emily has more recently been featured in the New York Times, named top 100 women in wellness to watch, and regarded as one of the leading experts in meditation for performance. She's been invited to companies like Google, Barclays, and Sweetgreen to help improve company performance through meditation. And she has taught over 7,000 people to become self-sufficient meditators with the Ziva technique. Her motto is stress less, accomplish more. We all could use that. Now, I had the pleasure of meeting Emily in the ladies' room at a conference in San Diego, and I was so taken with her that I invited her on the show right then and there. Later in the show, we'll be speaking with Maureen Lake, an international best-selling author of Being Happy, Raising Happy, The Empowered Mom's Guide to Helping Her Spirited Child Bloom. So don't go away. In fact, we're going to commercial break, and it's a perfect time for you to do a little meditation.
Yeah, a little breathing right now would be nice.
Yes.
I like the one where you breathe in for 4, hold for 2, exhale for 4, hold for 2.
I don't know that one. I know like 4, 7, 8. Or do you ever do square breathing?
No, this is too much math.
Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so square breathing. So if you picture a square in your mind and you like breathe in as you're picturing going up, hold, breathe out, hold, breathe in, hold, breathe out. And sometimes you can even like take your phone and rub your phone like up, hold, down, hold. It's super great because it gives you something to focus on other than just the breath.
That's going to bring up nightmares for me of trigonometry class and geometry and sine and cosine and right angles and
no triangles, just squares.
About that type of breathing, that I'll tell you guys during the break over on Facebook.
Okay, so stay tuned. We will be back shortly with Emily Fletcher.
All clear?
This is what I wanted to tell you. So in yoga, it's called Nadi Shodhana, where you block up one of your nostrils and you breathe through one nostril. And when you take it to its nth degree, you imagine the breath coming up one side of the body, moving over, and then out down the other side of your spine, right down into the earth, moving over, coming back up. And it's this big cycle like you were describing. And I was doing this whole weekend of intense training, yoga training. We were doing a lot of breath work. And as I was doing this breath, I was thinking, keeps getting stuck right about here on the right side of I'm pregnant.
Wow. Good for you.
Woo!
Yeah. Okay, so Emily is on. Emily.
Hey, Emily.
Hi, guys. Nice to be here.
Oh, well, we're on Facebook right now. We're on break. We'll be back live on the air in about 30 or 40 seconds or so. So I'm going to be interviewing you, and the other girls are going to hop on. But I have a question for you while we're on break.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of like quiet, right? So we just got a dog, and I know you have Muggsy. I want to talk about Muggsy.
Okay.
We just got a dog, and we leave the house, and my husband wants to put the radio on for the dog, and I'm like, no, why are you putting the radio on for the dog? He goes, so she's not alone in the house. And I think, no, we're supposed to have that space, right? When nobody's around. So do you leave music or anything on for Muggsy when you leave the house?
I actually do. We just do a quick, like a simple, quiet iPad, and we do some like classical music, or there's actually like relaxing music for dogs. I have no idea what that means exactly. But
Sorry
I
to
won't leave
interrupt.
a TV on.
Here we go.
You're listening to Andrea Beeman, Lisa Lutan, and Michelle Fennighaus with Healthy View Radio. Do you have a question or comment for the show? Please call us right now at 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. Or send us an email from our Voice America radio page. You'll find connections to reach any of the hosts there. Now, back to Healthy View Radio.
Hello, everyone. For those of you that are just hopping on, my name is Andrea Beeman, and I want to welcome you back to the most mindful and least stressed out show on the air today. As a matter of fact, my co-hosts, Michelle Fennighaus and Lisa Lutan, are meditating as we speak.
Oh.
That's why it's so peaceful and quiet around here. Today, we are talking about the amazing benefits of a daily meditation and what it can do for you in your life and how you can make it happen, right? Because most people think, how am I supposed to do this? And to help us gain more clarity on this essential topic, we have Emily Fletcher. She is the founder of Ziva Meditation. She's also a recovering control freak. Thank God for meditation. And she likes to hang out with people who are lit up about what they do and are contributing to make this planet habitable for humans. So it seems like we are all on the same wave here, and Emily's going to be our new BFF. Welcome to the show, Emily.
What a delight and an honor to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, we're really happy to have you. And I know that you love your work, and we're excited to get to all of the amazing stuff that you're doing in the world. But before we do that, we want to connect you to our audience in a more down-to-earth kind of way with a couple of questions. And the first is, what did you have for breakfast today?
I do this amazing mega smoothie. It's a half of an organic banana, a half of an avocado, organic raw almond butter, coconut butter, one washed raw egg, olive oil, chocolate, like Vega protein powder, frozen berries, and collagen. And it is everything.
Can you write that down for us?
I know. I will. I'll send it to you if you want. But
Yeah.
I'm pregnant. I'm 6.5 months pregnant. And so I can tell if I don't have my smoothie, my day is very different than if I do. I feel like it just fills me up, sort of like meditation does.
I love the raw egg. I love that, especially for the
I know I'll
baby.
get some flack for that because I'm pregnant. But if your eggs are very high quality and if you wash the egg, then you decrease your chances of like salmonella by 99%.
And
Very
do you put
nice.
the
Your baby's in
eggshell
good
in there?
hands.
The eggshell going in the smoothie?
Oh,
No.
no shells.
Oh,
No shells.
just asking.
And then the second question that we have is, what is the number one thing you do every day that has the greatest impact on your life?
Well, that's easy. That's cheating. I mean, mine's meditation, no question. It's non-negotiable for me, like brushing my teeth.
Fantastic. And then if you have any guilty pleasures, what's one?
Ooh, I would say I'm a little more addicted to social media than I would like to be. I'm on there just a little bit more than feels healthy.
Oh, that's funny. I was on your Instagram and I saw you walking down the street in LA with a laptop, with your cell phone. Is that what you mean?
That was rare. I was on the middle of a conference call. We were in the middle of a launch, and I was kind of making fun of myself. And I was like, this is not very meditation teacher-like, but I was nailing it.
All right, great job. So, one of the first question I want to ask is, what actually brought you to meditation in the first place?
Yeah, so I used to be on Broadway, as you mentioned in the intro a while back. I was on Broadway for 10 years. And my last show was a chorus line, and my job was to understudy 3 of the lead roles, which means you show up to the theater with no idea which character you're going to play. So you're basically living your life in this constant state of anxiety and what if. And it led to insomnia. It led to going gray at 26. I couldn't sleep through the night for 18 months. I started getting sick and injured. And it was really confusing why I was living my dream and miserable. And thankfully, this girl sitting next to me in the dressing room had a harder job than I did, but she was crushing it. I mean, every dance, every song, every bite of food was a celebration. And I said, excuse me, what do you know that I don't know? And she said, I meditate. to which I promptly rolled my eyes and I was like, oh God, one of you. Because this was 11 years ago, so there wasn't the neuroscience then that there is now. So I just kept sucking at my job, going gray and having insomnia. And then finally it got so bad that I thought, oh, I have to try something. So I went along this intro to meditation talk, signed up for this course. First day, first course, I was meditating. I had no idea what that meant, but that night I slept through the night for the first time in 18 months. And I have every night since, and that was 11 years ago. And then I stopped getting sick. I didn't get sick for 8.5 years. I stopped going gray. I'm 38 now. I have no gray hair. I was legitimately going gray at 27. I stopped getting injured. And most importantly, I started enjoying my job again. And basically this meditation thing up-leveled my performance in my life so dramatically that I felt inspired to share it with others. So I left Broadway. I went to India. I trained for 3 years to be a teacher. And then I opened up Ziva Meditation about 6 years ago, and it's been the best thing I've ever done.
Wow, that is an amazing story. And, you know, I know that you studied in India. So your practice of Ziva meditation, because there's a lot of different meditations out there. What differentiates your meditation from other styles of meditation?
Okay, so good question. So when I first graduated, I was kind of teaching just what I had learned, which is awesome in and of itself. I was just teaching the meditation portion of the Ziva technique. But after teaching thousands and thousands of high performers, which I'm very happy to report that as of last week, I have Oscar, Grammy, Tony, Emmy, and Golden Globe award-winning clients and students.
Wow.
High performers here. And I think because of my performance background, what we really focus on at Ziva is meditation to make you better at life, meditation to improve your performance at work, at home, and with your family. And so meditation is a huge component of that. But what I started to realize is that, you know, there's other components that are really moving the needle for my students. And so that's when we developed the Ziva technique. And it's this beautiful trifecta of mindfulness, meditation, and manifesting, or the 3 M's as I like to call it. So we use mindfulness as an appetizer to sort of prepare, because high performers, you know, and P.S., I define a high performer as anyone who wants to be better every day. You know, anyone that wants to be better today than they were yesterday, that to me is a high performer. Anybody that wants to use their gifts to make this world a better place, that's a high performer. And so we use it we use the mindfulness, which is a little bit more active. It's more of a left brain waking state, directed focus technique. I heard you guys talking about the box breath. That would be sort of a mindfulness tool. We use that as a runway into the main course, which is meditation. So it gives people something to do, something to focus on, and it gives them a beautiful transition from the active day to the deep healing rest and surrender that is the Ziva technique of meditation. So what most people think of when they think of meditation, they think of focus, discipline, clearing their mind. I can't do it because my brain is too busy. But at Ziva, we actually teach the lazy man's meditation. So it doesn't require anything hard. You don't have to chant. You don't have to have fancy fingers. You don't have to have any incense. You don't have to stop drinking Jack Daniels. Like, all you need to do is really a chair. And so that makes it much more portable, like easy to adapt into your life. And then we finish a little dessert course, which is the manifesting. And manifesting is basically consciously creating a life you love, getting really clear on exactly what it is you want to create in your life. And I walk people through a beautiful and powerful exercise to sort of visualize that as if it's happening now.
Oh, that sounds awesome. I think all 3 of us are going to come to your studio in New York.
Yeah.
Reunion. That'll be so fun.
So what do you think is the number one myth around meditation?
Okay, so this is easy and it's big. A lot of people think that the point of meditation is to clear their mind. I think there's this one dude going around telling everybody that in order to meditate, you have to clear your mind. And you guys, we got to find him and we got to teach him how to meditate, because it's robbing people of a potential lifetime of bliss and fulfillment. Because here's the news. And I want really everyone listening, if you've ever felt frustrated because you couldn't give your brain a command to stop, if you've ever felt frustrated because you sat down to meditate and your brain was just too busy, listen up. The mind thinks involuntarily, just like the heart beats involuntarily. So trying to give your brain a command to shut up is as impactful as trying to give your heart a command to stop beating. It does not work. And yet this is the criteria by which everyone is judging themselves as to whether or not they can meditate. And so then you sit down and you're like, all right, brain, stop thinking. Sure would like a snack. Oh my God, I'm thinking about snacks. Wait, and I suck at meditation and I quit. And that's the beginning and the end of most people's meditation career. And it makes me sad because they potentially robbed themselves of a lifetime of bliss and fulfillment and better performance because they're judging themselves based on misinformation. And so the good news is that you can still get the benefits of meditation even if you're having some thoughts during the practice. The trick is that meditation is like any other skill, and it takes a bit of training. It takes a technique that's designed for you. And once you have that, then you find that A, your return on time investment is exponential, but B, that you can actually still have thoughts during meditation and still get all the benefits.
That's the truth, sister. So you had mentioned meditating for better performance, how it increases your performance. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes. So here's the harsh reality. Stress makes you stupid. It also makes you sick, and it makes you slow. Doctors are calling stress the black plague of our century, and Harvard Medical School recently released a study saying that it's somewhere between 80 to 90% of all doctors' visits are stress-related. And so the trick with high performers and high achievers is that they start to tell themselves this lie that, oh, I need my stress. My stress gives me my competitive edge. And because I teach a lot of, actors and artists, they think, oh, my stress gives me my creativity. And all of that is crap. Stress makes you stupid. When your body gets stressed, it starts preparing for a predatory attack. But the thing is, our demands, our quote-unquote stresses, are no longer predatory attacks. Now it's in-laws and deadlines and emails and red-eye flights, none of which call for a fight or flight stress reaction. So the way that the human body has evolved to react to high-demand situations is no longer serving us based on the demands that we have as a species now. And so this is why stress is actually slowing us down. So what we do at Ziva, and this is a big important distinction between mindfulness and meditation. And P.S., when I say most of the apps out there, most of the drop-in studios, most of the YouTube videos, most of the breath techniques, I would put those in the category of mindfulness, meaning that they are a directed, focused style of meditation. There's something that you're focusing on, a guided visualization, the box breath, all of that would be the mindfulness category. And that stuff is very good at changing your state in the right now. It's very good. Like my boss yelled at me and I listened to my Headspace app for 10 minutes and now I feel better in the right now. Beautiful. What we do at Ziva is that we teach you a technique that actually goes in and gives your body deep healing rest, which eradicates the lifetime of stress from your past that's been stored in your body. And the less stress you have in your body, the better able you are to perform at the top of your game. So mindfulness, dealing with your stress in the now, meditation, getting rid of your stress from the past. And that's really the special sauce. It's the less stress you have in your nervous system, the better able you are to be present right here, right now. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense. So I have a question that came in from the guys that do the radio. They're not meditators. Us three we're a bunch of meditators, but the guys that do the radio, he put in a question and he said, what if you're a newbie? How can you slowly begin the process of meditation?
Great question. Okay, so I actually love working with newbies because it's so much easier for me to teach someone that's going in with beginner's mind and a blank slate. And the beautiful thing about Ziva is it requires zero prior experience. And so a beautiful way to get started is we created an online training, and it's only about 15, 20 minutes a day for 15 days. And it's a matriculation. It actually walks you through step by step, bit by bit, and you learn the full trifecta, the mindfulness, the meditation, and the manifesting. And it starts you gradually and gently. But then the beautiful thing is that after 15 days, you have a technique, you have a practice to take with you. You're a totally self-sufficient meditator, and you don't need me or incense or gongs or finger symbols or fancy fingers in order to meditate. All you need to do it is a chair. And the cool thing about it is you can, once you learn this technique, you can do it on a plane, on a bus, with your kids in the next room, at work, so it's infinitely portable. So I think Ziva Online is an awesome way for people to get started.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds really easy. So with the ease of this, why do you think, and all the scientific data that's out there about meditation and how it benefits us, why do you think more people aren't doing it?
I think that people have convinced themselves that they're too busy to meditate. And I think that this is due to two things. One, they've not taken the time to actually get trained. And of course, you're too busy to do something that you don't know how to do. I'm too busy to speak Japanese because I've never been trained in Japanese. That'd be very hard for me to just expect myself to magically speak Japanese for 15 minutes a day. But once you take a class, you get some training, well, then it's pretty easy to speak Japanese for a few minutes a day. So step one is we need training. We need actually techniques that are made for us instead of made for monks. And then step two is that, we believe this lie that we're too busy to meditate. And so let's just break down the logic on this. If you agree that stress makes you stupid, right? If you agree that stress slows you down, and if you agree that meditation is the single most powerful stress relieving tool there is, then this argument of I'm too busy to meditate, it doesn't hold water. And a quick little parable about this is, imagine you're walking to work and you see your friend and he's also walking to work and he's holding his bike in his hand. Like he has his handlebars of his bike in his hand. And he's walking his bike to work. And you can tell he's in a rush. He's sweating. He's a little stressed out. And you're like, hey, dude, what's up? How you doing? He's like, I'm late. I got to go. I'm going to work. And you're like, oh, why don't you just jump on your bike? He's like, I don't have time to stop and get on my bike. I'm late. I have to hurry. You're like, no, just stop and get on your bike. And he's like, I'm too busy. I don't have time to stop and get on my bike. And that's the same argument as I'm too busy to meditate. Because once you do it, once you stop, you take the time to learn, then you get on a bike and life is so much faster. Life is so much more elegant. Life is so much easier once you incorporate this habit into your day.
That's great. So we had a question come in from Facebook. Someone wants to know how to teach a 10-year-old how to meditate, because I think it should start young.
Yes. 1,000%. So we definitely need to get our kids meditating. And I would say step one is you learn to meditate. So, kids are very responsive to our stress. And, they want mom and dad to be happy. And kids are also narcissists. So if you're stressed, they think it's their fault. And so if you start taking care of yourself and start cleaning your own house, then you're setting the example and you're starting to see, well, mom's taking responsibility for her own mental and emotional health. So I see that if she's stressed, she actually didn't meditate today, and that's not my fault. So step one is you get a practice, and then we actually teach a kids course at Ziva twice a year, and it's a gift that we give to our graduates, like people who've taken our course, and we offer that to ages 5 through 11. So that's something that we don't have an online course for yet, but I know that there's a great company called MindUp. That's Goldie Hawn's nonprofit, and they're starting to put mindfulness into schools, like ages K through 12. And I think I'm actively looking for resources. There's a book called Sit Still Like a Frog, and that's a great mindfulness book for younger kids. But I would really say step one is you start meditating and then have them sit with you maybe for 5 minutes. And don't be so rigid about it with kids. Let them come to it. Teach them that it's a superpower, that they can look internally for their own energy, for their own happiness versus seeking it externally. But I try not to be super rigid with kids and just let them come to it on their own.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, you're a wealth of knowledge about meditation, and I hope that so many people take your courses. Where can people learn more about you?
Okay, so the easiest place is just zivameditation.com, and that's Ziva. Ziva is a Sanskrit word that means bliss. So it's zivameditation.com, and that is really our hub. You can find out about our live classes, which we do in New York and LA. You can find out about Ziva Online, which is our beautiful 15-day online training. And we also have all sorts of videos and articles and podcasts there. So I'd love to meet people there. And then we're all over social media, just at Ziva Meditation.
Oh, well, thank you so much. This was really great. Thanks for taking the time to meet with us and teach us a little bit about meditation today.
It has been my absolute pleasure. And thank you guys for your mission and for helping so many people with your work. Bravo.
Thanks, Emily.
Thanks, Emily. Bye.
Okay, so before we go to break, I'd like to, by the way, I love her. She's my new BFF. Before we go to break, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Giovanni Cosmetics, for their amazing Eco Chic products. You can get a $2 coupon at Giovanni Cosmetics GiovanniCosmetics.com/HVR. And that $2 coupon should help bring down any hair stress that you may be having. Giovanni can be found at Sprouts, Kroger, or any Whole Foods market, so go get some. And when we come back after the break, we're going to be speaking with Maureen Lake, who is the best-selling author of Being Happy, Raising Happy, the Empowered Mom's Guide to Helping Her Spirited Children Bloom. She's a holistic integrated health coach, mother of 3 children, and educator. So don't go away. Take a few moments to breathe, chill out, sit in lotus or not, and then meet us back here in 2 minutes.
All clear.
Thank you.
Thanks. Do we have Maureen?
Maureen, are you there?
I am. Hi.
Hey.
Hi, Maureen.
Maureen, we're in our break right now, but we're live on Facebook, and we'll be back in just about a minute or so. How you feeling?
Okay. Good. I want to tell you, it's great to be in the presence of legends from IIN.
Legends of the Fall.
Plus me.
Wait, you didn't go to IIN, Lisa?
I did, but I don't know if I would be called a legend of IIN.
You are now.
I am now. Yay!
Three of you are very well known. Let's just put it that way.
Thanks, Maureen. We're glad to have you here with us. We're nothing without our guests, right? So we're glad that you're here, and I'm going to be interviewing you. This is Michelle.
Hi, Michelle.
Hi. So
I know you a little bit from a Viva Roms group.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to mention that to everybody as we have that in common. But it's a short segment. We'll go. It's just 10 minutes, right? So I'll ask some questions. If you can answer them as succinctly as possible, that would be great. So we can get to more of them, and then I'll wrap you up, and we'll close the show after that.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Thank you,
Maureen. Did you meditate today?
Actually, I did.
Oh,
I
good.
meditate every day.
That's awesome.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, here we go.
You're listening to Andrea Beeman, Lisa Lutan, and Michelle Fennighaus with Healthy View Radio. Do you have a question or comment for the show? Please call us right now at 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. Or send us an email from our Voice America radio page. You'll find connections to reach any of the hosts there. Now, back to Healthy View Radio.
Welcome back to Healthy View Radio. Today we've been talking about meditation and manifesting and all kinds of good stuff that we were never taught growing up. At least I know I wasn't. And you know what else I was never taught about? I really think this has to be part of like school curriculums and the health classes. Proper pooping posture. That's right, PPP. It is a thing, you guys, and squatty potty is the answer. Whether you're constipated or you feel like you never have a complete bowel movement, this will change your life. I actually got everybody in my family a squatty potty for Christmas. They come in these really big boxes, so we're wrapping these huge boxes up. And it's funny because my family's pretty conservative group, not the first group of people to talk about their poop. So that was a interesting conversation to have with everybody. And my mom in particular is like not interested in discussing these personal matters. But my stepdad kind of pulled me aside after Christmas a few months later. And he's like, hey, you know what? That squatty potty, it's everything that was promised.
And more.
So if you all want to get in on that promise of smooth, easy bowel movements, head over to squattypotty.com/HVR to save 10%. That's squattypotty.com/HVR. And I know that is a very tough act to follow, but our next guest, surely she feels like we do about regular bowel movements, so she won't mind at all. I would like to introduce you all to Maureen Lake. Maureen and I are actually studying together right now in a functional medicine training, which is so cool. So I already know her a little bit, but let me tell you all who she is. Maureen is an international best-selling author of Being Happy, Raising Happy, the Empowered Mom's Guide to Helping Her Spirited Child Bloom. She's a holistic integrated health coach, mother of 3 children, and educator. Maureen works passionately for women who find themselves on the continuum of health problems ranging from mild insulin resistance to type 2 diabetes. Really important work there. Maureen considers herself a health ecologist, finding the root cause of metabolic disorders, and is on a mission to reverse its damaging effects. Welcome to the show, Maureen.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, we are glad to have you here. And I just want to know, how did you get started helping women with type 2 diabetes? Is this part of your personal story?
Well, actually, my mother had type 2 diabetes and unfortunately passed away from, just the symptoms of it. She ended up with a stroke. And then lo and behold, my husband was diagnosed. And after going through raising two of my three children that had, let's just say, some challenging behaviors, I noticed that all of a sudden the health of pretty much everybody in my family was going in the toilet. No reference to Squatty Potty, but
good one.
Yeah. I mean, all of a sudden, because the stress and overwhelm that we were feeling was really taking a toll on us. And so when my husband was diagnosed and I started getting symptoms of prediabetes and thyroid and adrenal and things like that, it was like, okay, wait a minute, something's got to give. And that's when I decided to step away from teaching, which was a really stressful special ed job, and just try to get well. So I went to school to learn about health and nutrition. And that's where I am now, just really trying to get a mission out there about, prediabetes, insulin resistance, the whole system, and how it can go south so quickly for all of us that are living these stressful, overwhelmed lives.
Well, that is true story. It certainly does. And as we all know, it's on the rise. So tell us about some of the root causes that you find behind metabolic disorders in your clients.
Well, it's funny because I'm just so happy that I was on the same segment as Ziva Meditation, because I'm such a firm believer in meditation. And I do try to reach my clients a little bit differently than, say, the average type of health coach, because I'm working hard at changing lifestyle and mindfulness in particular. And so meditation is actually a big piece of what we work on, as well as sleep. But then there's just the obvious things, like obviously the diet oftentimes is a big culprit. Sometimes it's genetic. Sometimes it's just your lifestyle that you're keeping. Like, as for example, with my husband, absolutely no genetic predisposition to diabetes, but he was under a tremendous amount of stress. He had a tipping point in his life that kind of sent him over the edge, and boom, all of a sudden he was type 2. I mean, I'm happy to say with intervention, diet, medication, he's slowly getting off his medication and onto nutritional supplements because his A1C is now in a normal range. So it can be, I hate to use that word reversed, but it can be like taken back to a level of maintenance for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great that you're seeing results in your own household. And so it's interesting to hear you talk about the root cause, aside from eating too many sugary snacks. I mean, I think we all know that has to do with developing insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. But I hear you speaking a lot about slowing down, getting more rest, getting more sleep. Would you say that's one of the biggest things that we can do to protect ourselves?
Oh, absolutely. I think sleep is just this commodity that we have for half of our day, right? I mean, half of our 24-hour period, and none of us really check into it with the amount of time that we really need to. I mean, typically, a typical woman gets a little bit more sleep than the average man, maybe by a half hour a night, but still that's only like 6 hours, where to really restore our brain and our body and get healthy, we need a good 7.5 hours of sleep every single day, and ideally uninterrupted sleep. And how hard is that to come by? I mean, I hear over and over that with the population that I work with, that's the one common denominator with everybody, is their difficulty with sleep.
Yes, we hear that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. So just if I recall, there are studies that show just a small amount, a couple of days of not getting enough sleep, your cells will begin to become insulin resistant.
Exactly. And even like a couple of days of reduced sleep, the following day you can act like you're drunk. I mean, there's certain things that it does to your entire system that just interferes with so many things. So it's really something we need to repair, not only our cells and our body, but also our brain, because it's during sleep that our brain like washes itself clean of the toxins of the day. And there's studies out there that show that people that don't get an adequate amount of sleep are on a road to Alzheimer's. I mean, it's really dramatic what it can cause.
Well, you're speaking my language, lady. You're talking to a woman who got a nice solid 9 hours last night. So give it up for some good sleep.
Lisa only gets 6.
You know,
Seven.
the other night I had trouble sleeping, and I also had a banana on my counter. And honest to God, I made your tea, and it worked.
Excellent. See, that's a great trick. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, it's the banana peel tea. We talked about it a few episodes ago. Right?
I think it was in the sleep episode.
The sleep episode.
How about that?
Aptly named. Terrific. So
Exactly.
tell us a little bit about your book, Maureen, Being Happy, Raising Happy.
Well, I wrote it when I stepped away from teaching and my family was going through a kind of multiple health crises. I took a step back and tried to figure out what in the world was I not doing in my life that, again, kind of like you mentioned previously, I wasn't really taught as a child how to take care of myself. And so that's really what the book is about, is my story and my journey of coming to self-care. And I look at the areas of nutrition, sleep, meditation and mindfulness, also address toxic relationships and what they do to our life and kind of just suck the energy out of us. There's a chapter on natural healing. And then at the very last minute, I decided to add an extra chapter, which is about working with your child on all these different ideas. So it came about, like I said, by living my own stressful life and really realizing that something needed to be done. So it's my journey, basically, but also a self-care book for other moms or women who are stressed.
Well, there's plenty of those out there, that's for sure. And what's up next for you? Any big projects in the works?
Oh, I just started a nonprofit. It's called Thrive Diabetes. Just got approval with all the licensing and things that you have to do with the state. And so I'm anxious to get that going and just to get knowledge out to other people, and women in particular is kind of my niche. So I'm excited about working on that.
Terrific. That sounds amazing. We would love for our listeners to be able to learn more about you and all of your endeavors. So can you share your website URL with us?
Sure. It's www.maureenlake.com.
That's it. Easy enough. Thank you so much for being here, Maureen. Go out there and do some good work in the world.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Bye, Maureen.
Bye, Maureen.
Bye.
Excellent. Well, this has been a very cool show. We've had such lovely guests today. What are your big takeaways from our episode today, you guys?
Well, I love what Emily said, that trying to stop the thoughts from coming during meditation is like trying to stop your heart from beating. Because I think so many people are constantly going, I'm a bad meditator. I can't do that. I can't do that. And I'm like, nobody can do that. Like, hello. That's why we're doing this, is to like help with that. So, you know, anybody listening out there, you're not alone. Like, this is how our brain is supposed to work. But we can work with that and become good meditators and improve our life, right?
Yeah, I agree. I remember, in all of the meditation books that I was reading by Pema Chodron and Jack Kornfeld and all these guys and gals who are like super meditators, it was always that the thoughts are going to be there, but not to attach to them. Because when you attach to them, then it starts this steamrolling of this, I can't do anything, right? You just watch them. It's almost like the wave. You watch it going by. Oh yeah, that's that thought. Okay. And you don't attach to it. And eventually they just kind of just go in and out. And it's like they're not even there. I think that meditation is imperative for people's health and well-being. And I know, like you girls and me, and we focus on diet and lifestyle and all that stuff. But like when my clients are struggling and suffering, I'm like, please just try breathing. Just try sitting in a chair and breathing. That's it, to help reduce the stress, because if the stress is high, you're not healing anything. Right. So I think meditation is imperative for health. And I won't even call it meditation. I'll just say breathing. Right. Imperative for health and for life.
I agree with you guys. In fact, I am really tempted to try that 15-day meditation program that Emily was talking about. I think that sounds great. So I'll probably be looking that up right after we get off the air.
Yeah, she also has something in person. I was thinking about that too, because she's right downtown.
Let's do it. Girls Day Out.
Woo-hoo! Girls Day Out. We're all sitting and meditating.
And
then we finish with Jack Daniels and mimosa.
So, hey guys, I don't know if you saw this, but we have some new reviews over on iTunes. We have a really nice one that I wanted to thank Gigi Greenwell for. And Gigi wrote, I've been listening for over a month now and look forward to each new episode. These three ladies have found a way to deliver important health information in a fun, casual way that makes you feel like you're talking with your close women friends over a glass of wine.
Woohoo!
Extremely valuable information. I especially enjoyed the session on digestion and pooping. Pooping is in quotes. That doesn't really happen. One of my favorite conversations with my clients. She says, keep up the great work and thanks. So thank you, Gigi Greenwell, for all of you listeners. If you would like to hear your review read on the air, we would love to read it. So head on over healthyviewradio.com/review. And that's where you can tell us your thoughts. And we want to thank you in advance for that.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It is.
We love
Gigi. Got
Gigi.
some other new ones over there too. You got to check it out.
What?
Yeah.
Just do them all. Put them on.
Yeah, I'll just do one episode where we just read them all.
This is to our greatest fans.
We love all of our fans and we're grateful for you. Thanks for being here, you guys. We'll be back next Thursday, gabbing like girlfriends and bringing you the best in health and wellness. We'll see you then.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
All clear?
Yes.